The following has been brought to you by SJP World Media.
Hall of Fame, no opinions are the same. Lovely chocolate in the bin for the poll, who will win? Cream soda wrestling, pimple dick ranting, air fryer Brussels sprouts, Maxi often cheats. Hey yo, let's start the show. CWF are set to go. Many movies I won't know, such a fiasco. Max v Cy was pretty crap, probably won't go back to that. Max needs to wear a hat, and he sometimes cheats. Hogan is a liar, but Barry Windham is the
worst
thing. Hogan is a liar, hear all about it on Chain Wrestling.
My word. Oh my goodness, that was fucking fantastic.
That's a great new intro. Well, I say great. I have a few issues with it.
I didn't know. See, this is the thing. We said literally just first of all, Ayo. But before we get into the show, let's cover this then. Because I didn't put that intro together in any way, shape, or form thinking that I was being mean. I did. It's all very tongue-in-cheek and being daft. I tried to poke fun at myself for not knowing any movies. The hat thing is very much a case of me not liking you without a hat on. And let's be honest, I do say quite often that you cheat. So,
yeah, I mean, the Mags and Sa was crap. We won't do that. A segment that I came up with. I mean, fair play, it was crap.
I think I mean more. We were crap because
we were definitely crap.
Because we'd have 10 questions a week and score, and like somebody would win 1-0 or something.
But did you spot the minor edit that I did?
The slight change. The slight change. I did.
It was
and
almost
honest,
imperceptible.
I don't know what that means. But if anything, that improves it. Because that had me fucking roaring. Because you said before you press play, you've made a couple of changes. See if I will notice. So I'm sat there looking at it, and it gets right the way through to the very end, and I'm thinking, he hasn't changed anything. Oh, there it is.
The Barry Windham slander continues.
Oh, dear me. Yes, indeed. Hey, yo. How are we all doing on this Easter Monday? Maxie, did you get any Easter eggs?
No.
Oh.
I gave out a lot of Easter eggs.
Did you?
But I didn't receive any in return. So fuck them all, bastards.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I found that Easter eggs very much go into two brackets, and it kind of covers our last two, well, this week and last week's non-wrestling topic. Easter eggs are either like last week's non-wrestling topic, absolutely fucking ridiculously overpriced and insane for what they are, and absolutely daft and so on. Or you find like 3 for £1 and you're like, whoa, that's pretty fucking good. There's no in between, is there? There's no middle ground.
I mean, I never found any at 3 for £1. I found a lot of the first group, very expensive ones. I remember the days when you pay £3 for an Easter egg and it come in a cup. You'd get an actual like mug. Now you pay £5 and you get 1 chocolate bar or 1 pack of mini eggs with your Easter egg. It's fucking scandalous.
3 for £1, I think, was probably an exaggeration on my part, but my wife sorted out eggs and that's for the kids and so on. But I went to the shop the other day and got one for the missus, and then there was some there. And I thought I'll get the kids a couple of little smaller ones, and they were, I think it was 2 for £2.50, which ain't bad, is it? and it was
I mean,
Smarties eggs. They're not massive, and in there you had a little bag of Smarties as well. So I thought, okay, that's all right for $2.50 for two. That's not bad.
I mean, that's not too bad, but that should be more national rather than just in Yodi Gloucester area.
Yeah.
Because around these parts, they are not that cheap. Even on a deal at Tesco, you were paying $5 an egg, which just beggars belief. Absolutely beggars belief.
Yes, indeed. I had I think it was Euro 96 Easter egg. Not this year, because that would have been quite out of date by now.
Oh, this egg's run right through me.
Yeah. I don't have taste funny, that chocolate. But
Free Lions order shirt.
Well, it was a Snickers egg, but Euro 96. And I had for probably until only a couple of years ago. Sharon's going to jump in the chat now and say, we've been together 15 years. I've never seen this mug. But I did have what feels like, until only like a year or two ago, a bright blue Euro 96 Snickers mug. And I loved that cup. But I don't know what happened to it.
Sharon has binned it.
Yeah, probably.
Guaranteed.
It's all tea stained on the inside and so on.
Tea stained. Jesus.
Yeah, my kids moan at me about the state of my cup, mate. My mug is gross, apparently.
Yeah, but in this house, there's something that regarding that infuriates me. So me and Lorraine will drink out of the same cup all of the time. Like literally, I have a brew cup, and that's the one I stick with. Same with
that's what I'm like. Yeah.
Everyone else in the house will just use multiple cups, and it absolutely winds me up when it comes to washing up and you're washing. And there's only 5 people here. It's like, how's this happened? I mean,
yeah. See, the girl, she'll have like a tumbler or a beaker or whatever. If she's having squash or pop or something like that. But then she'll drink coffee most of the day. But then obviously you get to a certain point where you don't drink coffee no more because she don't sleep. So she's got a coffee cup and she's got a teacup. You know, oh, there you go. Sharon says there, you're right. I've never seen it. If I'd been to cup, it would have been the one you use now. Okay, there we go. Yeah. But my girls, they're like you just explained then. It's ridiculous. Charlie consumes tea. It's unbelievable. She must be made up 95% of tea by now. She's just non-stop, mate. But then she'll go and get herself a beaker of squash. Rather than using the same beaker that she used 20 minutes ago, she'll get another one.
Fresh one. Yeah.
Yeah, and live with mugs as well. And so you go up to their bedrooms, and it's like, this is insane. But at the same time, because Sharon makes all this stuff as well, we've got so many cups and mugs in this house. You can't fit them in the cupboard. It drives me batty.
That's another thing.
Oh,
the cupboard theft from mugs and things like that. You have like, I am very pernickety when it comes to things being in their place.
Yes, and the cupboard door's got to shut properly, and it's got to be tidy.
And when you open your cupboards for your plates and your bowls and your cups, and you see the cups creeping across the boundary, and the plates getting less and less room, that fucking boils my piss. Or when you see the cups having to be stacked inside each other because there's just so many of them, it fucking winds me right up.
But we've got like cups going. We could quite realistically get rid of them. I mean, Sharon has said she's going to go through the cupboard and sort it out at some point. But it's like where before Sharon even started making stuff, which hopefully is going to be available for people to buy and so on when it's all set up and ready to go. So we'd order merch way back in the very early days of starting the network up and so on. Mm-hmm. And like a box might be ticked wrong, so it arrived the wrong color. Well, you can't send it back. That's our error. So we've got cups that are just completely wrong in the cupboard, you know, as well as cups that we use. Oh, mate, there's so many. I look at it and there must be. I reckon we could have 30 people around to make them a drink. Yeah,
same. Absolutely same. But we don't throw cups unless they break.
Right, okay.
It's like an unwritten rule that if a cup's useful, it stays. Yeah.
But at the same time, we're both then sat here complaining about the number of cups, but also saying we miss not getting a cup for Easter.
Yeah. But they were cool cups when you go, look at my new cup. I'm going to drink out of this forever for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Do you want to see my new cup, Maxie? Or to word it another way, do you want to see my big one? Look at this fucker.
What a euphemism.
Look at the size of that bastard.
That is awesome.
That is. It's huge, isn't it? And Sharon put that on the other side of it.
Is that the one that she wants to throw away?
No. Now, my teacup is the one she wants to throw away because it's the inside's not supposed to be brown, but it kind of is.
Sharon chat saying that your cups have their own full shelf in the cupboard.
Yeah.
And she's got a secret stash of cups in a cupboard under the stairs. You've got
I did not know about
you Powells have problems with hoarding.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what's annoyed me. Speaking of hoarding, we'll get into the intro and getting the show started in a moment, but you mentioned that hoarding there, right? Obviously, I've got stuff going on that's a little bit personal, a little bit upsetting and so on. It's nice having a distraction, okay? So it's nice being able to do... I've done a lot of editing over the last few weeks, and the reason we've had that video made was because it gave me something to do last night, and I was very busy. I didn't finish till 5 o'clock this morning, but I enjoyed doing it.
The message came through at a ridiculous time.
There we go. It distracts me from what's going on in my life with my parents and bad times, but there we go. Looking for stuff to watch on telly. I like a good box set to dive into, which we've mentioned many times before. Now, have you ever seen Broadwalk Empire?
Is that the one with Steve Buscemi?
Yeah. So I wanted to watch that, but you can't find it anywhere unless you're going to pay for it. And I'm like, well, we already have all these subscription services. I ain't paying shit. I went into town yesterday to go see my eldest daughter, and happened to pop into one of these CEX shops, the secondhand DVD, and they had the first 4 seasons for $5. Bargain.
So you went and paid for it?
Yeah, but for $5 to keep it rather than pay like 20 quid to stream it for like 3 months and it disappears. No, thank you.
Or pay for 1 month, stream it, and record it.
No, because I'll forget and keep paying the subscription fee. But there we go. Bored, I'm home, excited, thinking, okay, I've got something to watch there in case I get an evening where I'm a bit, Shag goes to bed early, things are on my mind, I've got whatever. But what I totally forgot about is
you haven't got a DVD player.
Well, I have, but I didn't realize I've got it right here, my DVD player. Actually, it's only got a fucking SCART socket on the back. So how do I plug that into these new tellies? Because I ain't got a SCART socket, Mags. It's got literally nothing else. Look,
you can get SCART to HDMI leads.
Can you?
Yeah. I'll see how much they are.
Oh, okay. Whilst you're doing that, shall we begin the show? Whilst you're doing a little bit of internet shopping.
About £8.
See, now I'm getting into territories. I might as well just pay to stream it, aren't I?
Yeah. You might as well. £6.50 you can get one. £6.50.
£6.50.
But you need the leads. So it's like a converter box, and you need a SCART in one end and a HDMI in the other. Or £8 for one what has the ends connected.
I've got a SCART cable here.
I'm sure you will bodge something with your box of wires.
I've got well, I don't know where that's gone either, actually. Sharon, have you hit my wires?
Does your laptop not have a DVD drive?
No, it doesn't. Oh, I bought one, didn't I?
Yes.
I did. I bought a little white. Where'd that go? I bought a DVD drive that plugs into. Oh, I could use that.
There you go. Win-win. HDMI your laptop to your TV. Win-win.
This has been a successful opening 10 minutes for me, mate. I'm not going to lie. This has gone well. On that note, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever and whenever you may be listening or watching from. This is Chain Wrestling Live with Mags and Si, an SJP World Media production, episode 147. Fast approaching the big 150. Yes. Again, it's just a number, but we should do something, I think. But we'll figure something out.
We probably will.
We probably won't. I am Si, and with me, as always, is the lumberjack to my bad back. Oh, yes, it hurts a lot. The leather strap to my amazing rap. I know it wasn't amazing. I know it wasn't really rap, but it's the only way that I could make something rhyme with leather strap.
I hate rap.
Oh, totally. A podcaster who I think might be a little bit salty about losing the poll this week, looking at the title of the episode and so on.
Yeah.
Lord Mags, explain your feelings, mate.
Okay, so the reason why I said we can't have fun things isn't only because I lost the poll, but it's because I'd actually watched this match a couple of weeks ago. Because if you know the channel Wrestling Bios, he does Reliving the War. And they're into like this era of 1999, so I like to kind of like skip ahead and like kind of get get into the storyline before Wrestling Bios goes through it. And
makes sense.
So because of that, I've watched this match. So it's almost like I'm being double punished to have to watch some shitty Barry Windham again.
See, now I actually look at that as being you doing it for the Wrestling Bios thing. That's a you thing. You're doing that for your own entertainment. You don't have to do that. Here, the CWF has selected what we're watching. This is our role in our this is our role in life, man.
They're just selfish. They're peevish.
Peevish.
They should have known. They should have known without me telling them that I've already watched this and I don't really want to watch it again, and then voted for Cody. Because it makes sense we watch Cody versus Roman this week because the story's going to be finished at the end of the week. But no. Anyway, we watched some WCW, didn't we?
We did. And we'll talk about it in a little bit. Let's see who's joined us in the chat, Magsy, and then we'll get on with a little bit of Hall of Fame, etc., and all that stuff, shall we?
Yeah. So the biggest poll shit stirrer of them all, Mr. Griffin, he refused to participate in this poll of utter dross, although he is glad that, as will happen this weekend, it's definitely not going to, Cody fucking lost. And then he can't watch live because he's at a pub quiz. See, it's just, horrific behavior.
Absolutely disgusting.
King Pigsbanner's in the chat, though, so hello to him.
Hello,
How are you doing, sir? Says, hey, yo, CWF. The first lady of the SJP network, Sharon, says it's Monday night. You know what that means. And then King Pigbanner says, just wow. I mean, yeah, wow. That I'm assuming it's because of the intro video and the kind of almost minuscule edit that I've made to it to kind of correct a slat in that video.
It was glorious, Maxie, that edit.
And
I did not expect that.
It took me fucking ages as well.
Did it?
Yeah, I had to separate the audio track from the video. I had to isolate the point where it says best, remove that, put in someone saying worst, then rebalance the audio so it's all this that it carries on at the same time. Otherwise, the lyrics would have been out from the actual song. And then draw over your picture, which that was the hardest bit because the app that I was using wouldn't give me a clear text box to put over it. So I had to struggle with that. But I think I did the best in the short time that I had. King Pig Banner says, "Hello, hey Sharon," and Sharon reciprocates. Connor in the chat, hello sir, how are you? He says, we'll be having us guys in the background whilst watching the football. You cannot take the eyes off the championship matches today. Bloody mental. And Sharon says she has not seen that cup, and if she binned one, it will be the one you use now. So do it. Whilst he's up here, you've literally got a 2-hour window to bin that cup.
No. Sure, make me a cup of tea now, I hope.
Well, you've got a 2-liter jug of, I'm assuming.
That's true.
Juice,
7-Up or Sprite or other soft drinks are available, of course. Yes.
Connor says he didn't do much over the Easter holiday, but work. Had a lady come in on Saturday morning who was in her mid to late 80s, who lived outside of London during the Blitz and could see the fires. She'd have been awesome to have a chat with.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Connor says lots of interesting people come through my checkout lines at work. Sharon, our cups have their own cupboard. I'm not going through that again, Sharon, because it'll just piss me off again. Connor says my parents don't throw anything out unless it's broken. Yep, that's a typical hoarder. We have lots and lots of cups and dishes to sort out once we get into the permanent house. And Sharon says there's wires by your feet in the box.
Oh yeah, she did. Oh yeah, she did tell me she boxed them up for me. Actually, fair play.
So you might have a SCART lead.
Yeah, and I've got a SCART lead. Definitely got one there. There's one here.
Does none of your TVs have a SCART import anymore?
No, because when we were in the back bedroom, I had a little portable in there, and that's when I'd watch like Quantum Leap on DVD and so on to do research for the shows, etc. And it would have a little portable with a SCART and all that. When we swapped rooms, bringing the little TV in here, I dropped it and broke it. So now that's gone. So then Sharon got us a new lovely, well, you can't see it, but bloody great, fantastic big TV that she's hung on the wall. It's fantastic and flash, but it doesn't take a Scotland.
She hung on the wall.
Yeah, Sharon's all. I don't do any of that shit, mate. I can't. Sharon's fantastic.
How about, here's an idea for you. How about Facebook Marketplace? See if anyone is giving away a year old CRTV.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I need a second monitor for in here as well.
But
anyway, no, it won't. Shall we dive into a little bit of Hall of Fame fame?
We shall. Let's do it. That chicken always makes me laugh.
It's great. It's like angry chicken, I call it, because he's got a proper glare and he's staring like he's cross at us about something.
It's a girl.
We have disappointed him.
It's not a boy, it's a girl.
Is it?
Clearly a girl, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Female chickens are the hens.
Right.
The bit with the and a male is the rooster. And that was
got
clearly
a red bit on
not.
as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, they all have corns.
Okay.
That's a female.
So it's an angry girl chicken. Right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough, mate. I was misled by Terry Taylor in the 80s, obviously.
Well, no, because he was the red rooster.
Yeah, with a red bit in it, and that's what I went by.
Yeah, roosters have them as well.
Yeah, I know. Terry Taylor.
Yeah, anyway, all the same before I fucking smash the gaff up.
Are you going first, Maxie?
I am, yes. Mine is simple. This week is arguably the best week in the wrestling calendar. And I think we need to show some positivity. I mean, we all could do with a little bit more positivity in our lives.
Yes,
and
indeed.
For me, the Hall of Fame this week is today. And it's tomorrow. And it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's WrestleMania week.
Oh, I was wondering where you were going with that. When you said today, I was like, Easter Monday? What?
I mean, not for me, because I didn't get any eggs. So today is it's like, hello, darkness, my old friend. No, it's WrestleMania week. The 1 week of the year where wrestling comes together, no matter what style or what just any kind of wrestling that you enjoy, you will find it this week. The one thing that Vince McMahon did with WrestleMania is he ended up creating this kind of macro economy around wrestling, around WrestleMania. It didn't just become about the WWF or the WWE, it became about wrestling as a whole. So the amount of shows that are on this week is absolutely just mind-boggling. Every major company or even the smallest indie companies come together around WrestleMania and put on some banging shows. And the events literally start today. H2O Wrestling are having their Monday Night Death show. They're then having the Hustle Cup for tomorrow. You've got shows from Labor of Love. You've got GCW Pro Wrestling, Our Progress. If you're into your Japanese Joshi wrestling, you've got Tokyo Joshi or Stardom. You've got the For the Culture by GCW. You've got the Spring Break. I think it's Joey Janela Spring Break. You've got Bloodsport. So whatever kind of wrestling you are into, this is the week where you will get to see it on the big stage. And all these shows streamed through either Fire or Triller or whatever streaming service that you can find on. So, yeah, this week is the best week in wrestling for me. I absolutely love the fact that we can just binge on all these different styles of wrestling and just lead up to the biggest show of the year. So yeah, for me this week, the WrestleMania week goes in the Hall of Fame.
Nah, what a shame. And it is a fantastic time, isn't it? You know, I watched an episode of Monday Night Raw for the first time in God knows how long, Maxie, because it's WrestleMania week. Me and Charlie watched the most recent episode of Raw where The Rock turned up at the end and so on. It's
beat the living shit out of Cody.
Yes, indeed, mate. Yes, indeed. And it was great. It was great. I've still got SmackDown on the box to watch as well, and Charlie wants to watch that with me. So again, it's just the excitement levels just go up and up, don't they?
Yeah.
And of course, then you get the Raw after Mania, the Hall of Fame this year as well on the Friday night.
Yeah.
Mr. Wyndham going in, of course, and yeah, no, great stuff, man. Great stuff. Love it. Absolutely love it. And you're right, bit of positivity. Awesome stuff, mate. Mine is so I'm quite happy with, to be honest. I'm quite proud that sort of I'm putting this individual forward. Mine's an actual wrestler. But it's somebody who I don't think gets the credit for the standard of matches that they had throughout their career. Most people, I imagine, being wrestling fans, are going to be familiar with Bullet Bob Armstrong. He had 4 sons who all wrestled. The most famous of which you'd imagine would be Road Dogg, wouldn't you? He's the probably the least talented out of the 4, but had the most charisma, which meant he went the furthest. And everyone, the whole DX New Age Outlaws spiel he used to do, and so on. Great stuff. But mine is his brother. My entrant into the Hall of Fame this week is his brother Brad Armstrong, and the reason being, I watched some random matches today, and you watch a bit of an event and it carries on playing. I was doing something else. Kane sat down and Brad Armstrong was wrestling. And again, I sat down and thought, I really enjoyed that. And then I thought to myself, every time I see, he's not somebody that I actively seek out, but every time I see Brad Armstrong wrestle, I think, why this guy was good. Unbelievably talented. Sadly, charisma let him down. He wasn't good enough on the mic. He didn't have that it factor to, I suppose, carry a character and go up to the next level. But I look at some of the matches with Brad Armstrong and the positions he was put in with different companies, WCW being a big one. In the early 90s, he would wrestle a lot of the guys who were just coming in to the company. He would be a guy for them to beat on the way up, but would also be able to put on a great match with pretty much anybody. And you look at the companies he worked for as well. He had a great spell for Smoky Mountain under Jim Cornette. He had a run in New Japan on and off, flying out for tours and so on. Some great tag matches there. But his WCW and NWA stuff is what really stands out to me. And if you're unfamiliar with Brad Armstrong, anybody out there in the CWF with us live now or listening to the podcast later in the week, I'd like you to go check out a few matches just to see how good this guy is. There's a match on an October 96 edition of Monday Nitro against Dean Malenko. Malenko's fantastic anyway, but Brad Armstrong is superb in this. Really good. There's a New Japan show from the February of 1992, and Brad Armstrong was tagging with Scott Norton, and he took on the tag team of Hayes and Muto for the New Japan tag titles. That's a barnstormer. Very physical, very stiff, really. Somebody who potentially in ring isn't as good as some of these names I mentioned. Jimmy Garvin, the former Freebird. Again, talented in his own right, but not on the level of, say, a Keiji Muto or Dean Malenko. In 1986, Starrcade 86, and so on, Brad Armstrong had a series of matches with him, and probably some of the best matches of Jimmy Garvin. Yeah. But my personal favourite, and it is shit who's on the other side of the ring from him, but if you can overlook it, as we always seem to need to say whenever we mention Mr. Benoit's name, Clash of the Champions 22, early 90s WCW, Brad Armstrong versus Chris Benoit is one of the most underrated 5-star bangers out there. This match is gold. And also Clash of the Champions 16, Brad Armstrong wrestles Flying Brian Pillman, another absolute stormer. The guy was so good. Unbelievable talent, unbelievable ability. Sadly, no longer with us. He died back in 2012 at the very young age of 51. I think 51. He had a heart attack and left us very early. Very sad. But yeah, my entrant into the Chain Wrestling Hall of Fame this week is just the underrated talents of Brad Armstrong, Max.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not clearly not as familiar with him as you are, but I mentioned I watch Reliving the War, and he's got actually a really prominent role in one of the storylines. They're on the bit with the West Texas Rednecks versus the No Limit Soldiers, and he's he's actually is it BA Brad Armstrong, like bad attitude Brad Armstrong. So he's out in the camouflage. He's teaming with Conan and Rey Mysterio, and he doesn't. I mean, charisma wise, he's not on that level. I totally understand that, but he doesn't look out of place in that ring. He really can hold his own. And when he's facing some of the wrestlers who maybe don't have as much experience, he elevates their performances. Yeah, so we need in wrestling those really good hands, those people who can help carry a match, and sometimes just fade into the background because your new stars who might have all the charisma in the world but just not have that ring presence. Someone like someone with the qualities of a Brad Armstrong will be absolutely perfect as an opponent for him. So yeah, I think it's a really, really good shout.
So there you go. Those are your two entrants into the Chain Wrestling Hall of Fame this week. Brad Armstrong and his underrated abilities and the fantastic spell of time in the wrestling calendar that is WrestleMania week. Magsy, what are you looking forward to most at WrestleMania this week then? Or WrestleMania week? Because as you mentioned, there's lots of shows putting... lots of companies putting shows on. I apologize. I know our friend Dan Griffin has taken the week off work and has had to draw up a spreadsheet for all the different company pay-per-views he's going to be watching at different times. What is it you're looking forward to the most?
So I'm really invested in the Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes story on NXT.
Okay.
Trick Williams is a wrestler who, when he first came in as kind of like the sidekick to Carmelo Williams, I thought it was just there. It didn't really kind of grab me. But the way that he's improved over the last 6 or 7 months, and the way the fans have got so behind him, this story has actually been elevated to the main event of NXT Stand and Deliver over the world title match, or over the NXT title match, because that many people are invested in Trick Williams getting his revenge against Carmelo. So that I'm looking forward to. The Hall of Fame this year, I think it's one of the strongest Hall of Fames we've had in a long, long time. Usually we get one marquee entrant, and then it's filled up with absolutely deserved people, but certainly on a lower stature. This year, it just seems to be chock-a-block with genuine first ballot entrants. So that is always good. And then it's just the two main events. The Rock being back after so long. I mean, love him or hate him, that guy was the biggest wrestling star in the world at one time, and he's certainly the most successful post wrestling career. So for him to come back and do the WrestleMania weekend, that's going to be absolutely amazing. The being in the ring with the likes of Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns, it's as big as it can get. I mean, you're talking about 4 of the biggest stars in the wrestling world. That's going to be absolutely mental. And the pop that is going to happen if, and I mean when, Cody wins that title, it's, even as someone who is not a huge Cody fan, I mean, I appreciate that he went out and kind of bet on himself, but I'll never be the hugest in-ring fan of his. But that pop is it's going to give me chills seeing a story that has taken 2 years to fruition. WWE very rarely do this long-term booking, but the stuff they've done with the Bloodline and the stuff that they've done with Cody, it's been beautifully executed. I don't remember being as invested in a WrestleMania storyline like this for decades. I mean, I always get hyped at WrestleMania because it's like I said, it's the biggest week, but I'm fully invested in this story, and as much as I don't love Cody Rhodes as a wrestler, I want him to finish his story because of that kind of just that hero factor, I suppose. So yeah, that's what I'm definitely looking forward to this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of the same. The Hall of Fame for me is a highlight of the week for me every year. You mentioned there about the class. I don't know if I've missed anybody being announced. I'm also aware of Rotunda and Wyndham, Bull Nakano as well. Who else is going in?
Is it Muhammad Ali?
Right, yes, okay, yeah. I remember Muhammad Ali getting announced, yeah.
Let me have a look.
Because it doesn't seem, in recent years, they've brought the numbers down, haven't they? It's not been as big of a
yeah, because they've tended to try and limit it into like a 90-minute show, haven't they? Where before it got a little bit bloated. So
Paul Heyman, of course.
Paul Heyman's the star, the Thunderbolt Patterson, who I'd never even heard of, but apparently he's such an influence in a lot of people. So yeah, there's Muhammad Ali, the US Express, Thunderbolt Patterson, Bull Nakano, and Paul Heyman. So
man, Heyman in Philadelphia going on. I mean, you say we're assuming that Heyman is going to go in last, or he's the main event in Philadelphia with a microphone. That's going to be special, isn't it?
Yeah, and I saw a snippet of a Cultaholic video, and he was asked if he's nervous about the speech he's going to write, and he said, "I'm not going to write a speech. I'm literally just going to wing it." Which winging it, Paul Heyman is the fucking best Paul Heyman.
Oh yeah. I wonder if he'll bring up Vince.
It's going to be one of those Hall of Fame speeches that you will just listen slack-jawed. Kind of like when Undertaker did his speech, and you knew that nothing could disturb this. You had to hear these stories. The stuff that Paul Heyman's going to come out with, it's just going to be mind-blowing. So yeah, that's going to be a great day.
Yeah, wouldn't it be ironic as well if when it comes to his paycheck for that event, they let it bounce? But there we go. I don't think we've got much going on in the chat, my friend. Shall we dive straight into our non-wrestling topic, or is there anything you want to touch upon?
Yeah, I mean, we'll cover what King Pig Banner said, because it's still important. He says WrestleMania week is great, stand and deliver will rock. Absolutely true. And this part, Heyman has been so influential over the years. I mean, you're right. How many people have come out and said they're Paul Heyman guys or they're Paul Heyman girls? Yeah, the guy's just he may be the best that's been on a mark. He may well be. He's just so good. I mean, I remember an interview with and I think it was for the ECW documentary that WWE produced, but Bubba Ray and Tommy Dreamer were speaking about how they'd go in and they'd want to kill him because checks had bounced and things had gone wrong. And by the time they'd finished the meeting with him, they'd be his best friend in the world because he had that inane ability of just turning people's opinions. It's just so, I can't wait to see and hear what Paul Heyman has to say.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant, man. It's going to be amazing. Yes. You mentioned there stand and deliver the NXT event. I don't watch NXT. I haven't done for a long time. I don't watch a lot of wrestling, to be honest. I haven't done for a long time.
And yet you're here hosting a wrestling podcast.
Yeah, indeed.
Absolute melt.
But I'm intrigued now, having yourself, Pigs, Bladders, and so on talk about it. So perhaps I'll check it out. How many weeks TV should I just watch the last one, or is it just?
Yeah, I mean, I just watched the show. I mean,
okay.
One thing WWE are good at is recapping the storylines.
Yeah,
and you'll get to see how good the new crop of NXT and WWE talent are. There's some outstanding wrestlers in NXT, absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
So that'll be a breezy bonus for you.
Great stuff. No problem. No worries. That's enough wrestling, though, Mags, isn't it? We've talked a lot of wrestling, haven't we?
We have. More than we normally do for the first 40 minutes. Yeah, let's take a breather.
NWT time. Oh! No wrestling talk here. It's the non-wrestling topic.
Lovely.
Nice. Lovely. Nice.
Ooh, lovely.
Lovely.
This week's non-wrestling topic was the opposite of last week, I guess. Last week we spoke about the cost of living, people getting ripped off and stupid, crazy prices and how much things are going up and up and up and how horrible and shit it is. This week we want to look at bargains people have found, ways of saving a few quid here and there. Or anything positive, I suppose, Magsy, in the shopping experience, for want of a better phrase, my friend, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all like to save a bit of dosh in these hard times. So any hints, tips, or bargains you found, let us know.
Yeah, exactly. I will go through them, Mags, in, I believe, the order that you will have them in.
Bollocks.
I don't think we'll be far off. So we will begin with no, not him.
There we go.
Yeah,
Just like
that's
last
not
week,
really.
you failed at the first hurdle.
Yeah, that's not really a non-wrestling topic comment, is it?
I mean, what's the thread that he commented under?
Yeah, but he's not answering the question, is he? This Bang Bang Steve from the brilliant Bang Bang podcast saying that he's annoyed because he didn't get tagged in this week's non-wrestling topic.
It's just showing how much at fault you are. Didn't you do this to somebody else recently?
Pigs Bladders the other
MGB Crane,
week, yeah.
perhaps. Oh yeah,
No,
Pigs Bladders as well.
There's only so many digits and letters, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you've got to be more thoughtful towards our loyal listeners.
Oh yeah, indeed. We will begin then with Rob at UTT Rob on Twitter.
You didn't even get the next one.
No, I didn't.
So you weren't in order at all. We'll start with Rob. Nope.
I'll read them out in the order that I have them.
Yes.
Excuse me, my goodness. Rob says, it worries me that all my first thoughts of great service during COVID were brewery and bottle shop deliveries. But the Curious Hop in Otley, is that right? Otley? That is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Must literally have sent off as soon as I put my order in. Yeah, fair play.
Brilliant service. No wrong with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I would be concerned just how much you like the beer, Rob. But he does do the beer rating thing, where you give the whatever crazy, wacky out there beers a rating. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what it is. And yeah, you got to rate it and give a description and whatnot, aren't you? Yeah, I can't remember what it's called either. They're shouting at their podcast players now when they hear this. They'll be both
I'll get a very abusive DM off one of them, which I'll probably read in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, brilliant. Ja at Yam Right on Twitter, he says, had some bargains following Wolves around the country in League One. A few clubs that season did ticket for a £5 offers and kids for £1. Also for Carlisle, that's good, isn't it? Also for Carlisle away, club put on 3 coaches. Great days. Yeah, that's brilliant stuff. Really good, because it's so expensive, isn't it? Going to watch any form of entertainment, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it last week, weren't we? How expensive concerts and festivals and football matches have become. So, yeah, it's good that these football clubs who are based around a community at the end of the day know to basically that people are struggling and that anything that can do to help out. It gives them a better atmosphere and more fans get to enjoy the football. So yeah, cracking.
Exactly. He continues though. Constant bargains have to be Spotify and the WWF network. So much content. Yeah,
I mean, WWF network is an absolute no-brainer. Even if you're not into the current product, the library that they've got on there, the years and years that it goes back, it's an absolute no-brainer. Spotify, my issue with Spotify is that they keep creeping the price up bit by bit. So we have the family package, and when we first got it, it was like a tenner. Then it snuck up to like 15 quid, which, I mean, fair play. But it's now at like $17.99. So they keep every few months you'll get an email saying, "Oh, it's going up by £1," and each of those quids add up. So
Yeah.
it's not as cheap as it used to be. But saying that, for unlimited access to so many millions and millions of tracks, 18 quids, it's a drop in the ocean, isn't it?
Yeah. Matt Butler at Trey Butler on Twitter. He says, as a chef, I need to have a stacked spice rack. We like a stacked rack, Magsy, don't we?
We do.
Things like saffron and vanilla pods cost an arm and a leg. Curiously, though, they are the same weight as cheaper spices, such as mint. Scan one bag. Scan one, bag the other, he says. They never see you coming. Taking down capitalism one swipe at a time.
Is that a bargain, or is that the 5-finger discount?
Yeah, that's what that
it feels a little bit like that, but it's right. Vanilla pods are ridiculously priced now. So here's a handy tip for vanilla pods. If you ever use them, I doubt that you personally would, but I'm sure Mrs. Powell would. Once you've used your vanilla pod, scrape all the seeds out, put the pod in a jar, top it up with sugar, and you'll get vanilla flavored sugar for ages, and it's really, really good.
Oh, okay. Look at that. See, this is the sort of tips we're looking for. That's brilliant, Max.
Exactly. I mean, first of all, steal them, like Matt says, and then get a second use out of them.
There you go. Double the 3 usage. So, I mean, you say about, I wouldn't know vanilla pot. You're right. I wouldn't. You could put one in front of me right now and I wouldn't know what it was.
Brilliant. Classic.
So I've got no way of knowing. You could turn around to me and say vanilla pods are X amount of money. I've got no point of reference. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Okay. It's bad. They're like about $2.50-ish now. And all it is, and it's like it looks like a runner bean that's kind of gone bad. So it's like dark black and all squashy.
Right. Yeah, I can remember it being on the.
Yeah, and you score the inside, get your knife, scrape all the vanilla seeds out because that's the flavour, and then put that in your custard or your cake or whatever.
I can remember pictures of those little black things on the side of the yogurt pots I used to get.
Yeah, that's them.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Matt continues. Always haggle when buying your records. My shelves are stocked with discounted gems I've bought for a friend's birthday, saying I'm on a budget. Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, things like that haggle anywhere.
Yeah. I've only got a flavor. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Chance your arm. Why not?
Yeah, there we go. Steve-O at Elite FPL _ Steve-O. He says, this is a tough one. I guess Spotify for $10.99 a month and access to anything music-wise. That's insane. Pretty much saying what we were mentioning earlier, Max, isn't it? Although I still believe it has destroyed the music industry and has a massive detriment to a lot of artists. Yep, very true. You got to get so many plays to make any money. And that's why the music industry, especially rock and roll, is dying. But that's a conversation for another day. We mentioned the other day about shopping at Home Bargains. Steve-O says, I legit just discovered this shop a few months back. Biggest bargain, from his point of view, is Aqueous Cream for his eczema, 99p. Average in Boots or Superdrug, £2.50. That's like ridiculous markup, isn't it?
Yeah,
for the same, it's the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly, and it's what we were talking about last week. How shops and companies have gouged the prices, knowing that people have to pay them. But when the cost of living goes down, the prices don't go down with it. Because they know people are paying £2.50. Why would they drop the prices? So yeah, I'm glad he's found a cheaper alternative.
Yeah, without doubt. Steve continues. I'll shout out Lidl. Hooray, good stuff. We like Lidl. Specifically, their bakery section. Some of their sweet products are incredible and cheap.
The
muffins
smell inside the Lidl bakery is to die for.
Is it? Okay. Muffins or chocolate twists, he says, are amazing. Compared to Marks & Spencer's, which has the best bakery in retail, you're saving 30-40p for virtually the same quality.
Yep. And I can't wait till our former local cinema gets converted into a Lidl. Should be a couple of months now, and it'll be done.
Okay. There was a cinema in the middle of Gloucester the other day, Max.
What, just one?
No, we've got a cinema already.
Like a pop-up one?
Yeah, just a big screen in the middle of where the fountains are. Obviously, they turned the fountains off. It wasn't like, some sort of electrical risk or anything like that. But a big screen, loads of chairs out, kids all watching the movie on a massive fucking screen. It's quite cool,
That's
isn't it?
brilliant. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, great stuff.
Unless it was frozen, then yeah, it was not so good. But
No, it wasn't frozen. It was Greatest Showman.
oh well, that's not too bad.
Oh, there you go. Steve-O continues. I haven't subscribed for around 8 to 9 months, but you still got to say the WWE Network. Ridiculous value for money. Yeah, see, we covered that before as well. I mean, that's a great show.
And it's been the same price since day one. That's
strange as well, isn't it? That it hasn't crept up, or they discussed having a tiered system a couple of years ago, didn't they? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think it got brought up again last year, having like a £20 top tier, then 15, and then the lowest one supported with ads and things like that. But the fact that WWE Network hasn't gone up in price is mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing.
Well, yeah, because you think like money going into the company. Yeah, I suppose it's what Spotify do, isn't it? X amount of million subscribers. You just took £1 on top of everyone. That's millions and millions of pounds. It's
Yeah. I think the network has around 10 million subscribers worldwide.
So 10 million a month just for raising up a quid.
Exactly, 120 million a year for banging the price up by £1 or $1.
Crazy. Could almost afford to pay off all Vince's lawsuits, then, couldn't
they? That's a him problem. They've already said not to do with us. That's you, Vince. You little pervert. And Jordan Laurinaitis as well.
He was always a wrong one, wasn't he?
He almost made a second pimple dick for me. With the stuff he said about Teddy Long.
I didn't. What was this?
So Teddy Long had an interview on a podcast, and it was reported on Cultaholic that John Laurinaitis was incredibly racist to Teddy Long throughout his career, and did his best to hold Teddy Long back. So fuck John Laurinaitis.
He always was a scumbag, though, wasn't he? He just always felt, obviously there are some people who kind of hide in plain sight, as the saying may go, and other people seem decent on the outside but behind closed doors. And so Laurinaitis, I don't know what it was, you just looked at that guy and thought, he's got skeletons in his closet. There's something up with this dude. Connor Knows Soccer at Connor Knows Footy on Twitter. He says, once I started working a few months ago, I've really been trying to save more money than I spend. And as of right now, living at home, there's not many bills to pay and not yet. Only expenses have been lunch from the work drill and little snack items. Drill?
I'm assuming it means like canteen.
Ah, okay, right. Yeah, not like a physical drill. Once we get into the new permanent house, I'm going to purchase a brand new desktop computer with dual monitors and a microphone for streaming. What's left will be put away for a car and hopefully a place of my own in the near future. I think I'm reading out what Connor might have sent us last week. No, I'm not. It's the 31st. No, I've got that right.
Definitely this week.
Yeah, good.
And the biggest way to save money is stay at home with your parents. People get a lot of grief for, why have you not moved out on your own? Stay at your parents' house for as long as you can, because the real world is fucking grim. So the longer you've got to put a bit of money behind yourself and save up and make sure you're on a good footing, absolutely do it. It's so hard, especially for youngsters now to get a footing on. Even renting a house is ridiculously amount of money. So yeah, definitely. If you've got parents that are willing to support you like that, absolutely take them up on it, because you will need every penny you get. And the fact that he's got plans in there for the future about getting into streaming and getting a car. Yeah, he's got his head screwed on as young Connor, and I like that about him.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Somebody who does not have their head screwed on ever. We come to Dan Griffin at Dan Griffin 21 on Twitter. He says, used to work the rotisserie in a supermarket.
I mean, and he
That's
also probably
rotisserie,
did used to work the rotisserie as well.
Yeah, that's what came out of my mouth then, wasn't it?
Not the first time.
No. Compiled with new clueless manager's request to cook 20 chickens late in the day, even though we'd never sell them. Few of us ended up taking home whole roast chickens for 25p.
Oh my God.
That's good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. So once we went to a Tesco fairly late, let's say 7, 8 o'clock. And they had the yellow label stuff, don't they? Like
Yes.
Stuff. Well, we went past the cooked meat section where they do the chickens, and there were loads of them for like £1 each. So we literally bought 4 chickens, froze 3 of them, ate one, and they were some of the best tasting chickens we've had in ages.
Good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
It's well good when you get a little sneaky bargain like that. When you go in and you find a cheap whoopsie, and it's like you've won the pauper's lottery, isn't it?
The pauper's lottery. Yeah. Dan continues. Back in 2016, went to Orlando for 2 weeks to do the theme parks at Halloween. Got return flights from Heathrow and 2 weeks in a 3-star hotel for £600. Was supposed to be a group discount, but group dissolved, bar 5 of us, when the organizer got arrested for noncing. Fantastic stuff.
Brackets, he didn't travel.
Yeah.
So they didn't allow the nons to go. I mean, him going to a theme park.
Oh, yeah, I missed that. Yeah. I didn't make that link.
Yeah, but that's a banging price. 2 weeks in a 3-star hotel for £600 on its own, and then the flights for on it. That is cracking. That's a cracking deal.
Millwall Chris at Millwall Chris 1 on Twitter. He says, when I was in my early 20s, myself and my girlfriend had a holiday in Ibiza. At the end of the first week, we were asked if we could consider leaving our apartment, as they could get at least 6 people into their room, and spend a week on a luxury catamaran. What's a catamaran, Max?
It's a boat.
Like is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Chris says, I've never packed so quick. I am bloody surprised.
I'd have left everything in the room so they could keep it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, isn't it?
That's banging.
I bet, having met Chris and had a beer with him and chatted with him a bit, and obviously we interact online as well, don't we? All of us in the CWF, and Chris's age as well. Looking back to when he'd be going to Ibiza in the early 20s, I bet he was a massive fucking pillhead. 100%. He was. Yeah, he was glow sticking it up, raving away at the phone parties, mate.
Double dropper and just getting proper off his tits.
Jaw swinging from side to side like that, you know.
Yeah,
that's
proper Kevin and Perry. He would. I bet he had a bucket hat. Guaranteed he had a bucket hat.
Oh, you'll have to let us know, Chris. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you will have. And you're jumping up and down at the raves and rattling from all the fucking pills in his system. Yeah, that kind of level.
Definitely.
What's Hadaway, What Is Love plays in the background or some shit.
Back in the days of Methuselah, when they actually played proper records and it's not all done on a computer.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Pigs Bladders at Pigs Bladders on Twitter. He says, before I start, I'm not saying to do this. Probably not a good life choice. But this is somebody else going to be talking about doing something naughty, isn't it, to save money? I think this is
I haven't got Pigs Bladders on here, so
have you not?
I mean, I've got Plum Pandora 9649, but
who the fuck is that?
Yeah, awesome until too late, and I don't want to click that link because I feel it may be pornographic.
Oh yeah, I've blocked them after noting down the link, obviously first.
And then bookmarking it after bookmarking the link.
Pig Splatters says, before I start, I'm not saying to do this. Probably not a good life choice. But you see something you need or want in a shop, just steal it.
I mean, it's the biggest bargain.
Well, this is it.
Getting something for free.
he continues, I see shoplifters every day. Come in, grab what they want, and leave. Never get arrested. I'd lose my job if I tried to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
To explain, most shops now value the workers over the value of stock. So do not want the workers to put their safety at risk to stop thieves, which is right, of course. But the thieves know this too. So they pretty much just steal whatever they want. Well, there you go.
And if those thieves, as horrific as they are, I've got some good bargains, pop to my house and I'll bung you a couple of quid for said items.
The dirty smack rats walking around with their holdalls of cheese and meat.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the worst things about moving up in the world in Burnley. We don't get those kind of riffraff around these parts.
No.
When I lived in Scumsville, we'd save a fortune on steaks because they come around and go, I've got these packs of steaks for a tenner, and go, think you mean a £5, don't you? Give me a £5 and get a pack of steaks.
Yeah, the problem is, Mags, you can't expect, malnutritioned, skinny, not being fed for a while smack rats to, go across that moat and up that long driveway you have.
Exactly.
It's too far a trek, isn't it?
I'm a victim of my own success.
There we go, mate. There we go. And of course, then there's the dogs and the barbed wire around the walls and all
the
that
alligators.
Stuff as well, so. The alligators in the moat, yes.
The killer chickens.
They're like the final boss. They're like the Rock, aren't they? They're just outside the door. The killer chickens. That's all I've got, mate, from Twitter. Unless I have missed any.
No, I think that's all of it done and dusted.
Fantastic stuff. So, Magsy, what about your good self? Anything that's not been mentioned, or?
Yeah, well, we've literally just mentioned one of them. If you have the room and you have the inclination, get some chickens. The amount of money we've saved on eggs has easily paid for the chickens. It's unreal. Second, there's a couple of websites that I use for bargain hunting. The first one is called Discount Dragon. So they sell kind of like grocery items from brand names from big companies, but they buy overstock from other companies and sell it at reduced rate. But they do a lot of kind of like deals to entice customers in. So, for example, we got some bottles of salad cream, hard salad cream, for a penny each. We got some black garlic mayonnaise, and that's ham. So it's like garlic mayonnaise, but black.
Why would it be black?
Because it's made with black garlic instead of just black.
I didn't realize there was two different types. I just thought
there's lots of types of garlic. We got them for like 20p a bottle. We got recently some tuna for like 30p a tin. And every month or so, there's an item what they'll give you for free. So the wife got some Cadbury's white chocolate for literally for free for just placing an order. So yeah, that's Discount Dragon. I am not sponsored, although I would love to be sponsored by Discount Dragon. And then the other one is a website called Hot UK Deals. So
I thought you were going somewhere else with that then.
Well,
I know this website, right? Hot UK.
So no, it's called Hot UK Deals, and it's basically a forum style page where people who find bargains at shops lump them together, and they've got like all the different categories like home and leisure, fashion, groceries, electronics, toys and games, holidays, things like that, and they'll have very up to date like bargains of things that are on there. So if like say Amazon drops the price of a certain thing, someone will post it to that website. So if you're looking for something in particular, you can go to that website, search for that item, and it'll tell you if there's any bargains or any kind of like cheap deals going on it. So yeah, those are the two main sources that I use for my bargain hunting.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Good stuff. I haven't really got any that's not been covered already, I think. Spotify I use on a daily basis, and my kids will have Spotify as well. So that's all on the same account, etc. The WWE Network obviously gets a great deal of use as well. I mean, we're going to watch WrestleMania and now NXT, it seems, as well, this weekend, plus the Hall of Fame, plus this, plus that, all on the network for $9.99. What? Insane.
Yeah.
It used to be 25 quid for a pay-per-view. Blows your mind, you know?
And imagine if it was that price now, were you paying for NXT, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2? That's £75. You get it for tenner.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. But no, I can't really think of much else, mate, because everything I like's gone up in fucking price rather than down. So...
Brilliant.
Shall we have a quick look at what we've got in the chat there, Magsy? We've got somebody saying hello, and we've got a question for you as well.
We have. So Connor said he's going to try and watch wrestling this weekend. It all looks fun. Yeah, Connor, it's the best week to do it. Absolutely. King Pig Banner says Trick has so much potential. Yeah, I mean, for shame I didn't see it at the beginning with him. I just thought it was just going to be a typical kind of wingman for Carmelo. But yeah, I'm 100% sold. King Pigsman also said he could lurk around the little bakery section all day, and that is why he got banned from the Aldi bakery section.
Yes, it's the term lurk, I think, is the issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very it's creepy.
It's
it, yeah. No player left behind says what's up, sup all from Benny. Hello, Benny.
Hello,
How are
Benny.
you? And definitely go and check out No Player Left Behind. Just not yet. Do it in a bit.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah. King Pig Rider says, and he works in a school. Who works in a school?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Yes, he does. Yeah, that's creepy.
In a haunted school, Max.
And the question that I'm assuming that you meant
was,
is it all still in date? So I think some of the items may be kind of short dated, but what they do on the page is they tell you the dates. So if you're not comfortable buying things with a short shelf life, you can definitely pick the ones that have a long shelf life. I mean, the salad cream that we got for like a penny, that's got like 2 years shelf date on it. So yeah, you can definitely pick and choose the ones that you feel comfortable with. Cream soda sauce, says Benny. I mean, wait till you hear the new intro.
He
mentions cream soda.
And with that in mind, and do you know what? It was so difficult finding a picture of the bottle of cream soda that quite famously exploded all over me prior to a recording we did, Maxie, that triggered all this cream soda nonsense. I wanted to make sure that it was the right cream soda, you know. But even that's going up, man. Everything's going up. It's so expensive.
It is. It's ridiculous. King Pig Banner says nothing wrong with a good lurk. Well,
you know. Okay. Depends who you ask.
And No Player Left Behind said, won't be ready for another week. A rebrand is happening on Benny Mac Gaming. Nice. Well, there you go. So we're giving you pre-warning that No Player Left Behind is going to be taking over at Twitch. So make sure you're on board before the train leaves the station.
There we go. Worded eloquently there, Maxie. Well
done. I didn't know where I was going with that, to be fair.
Thank you so much, as always, everybody, for joining us in the chat, putting forward your thoughts, and of course getting involved with our non-wrestling topic on Twitter. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Maxie, I suppose now, because we're an hour and 10 minutes in, we spent the majority of the first hour talking wrestling, and we're now going to go back to wrestling. It's almost like this is a wrestling podcast.
I mean, it is WrestleMania week, so we should cover some wrestling.
Let's get ready to rumble!
So then, I won a poll, which was lovely. I feel, though, like I only get a certain number of wins when I bring up Barry Windham. There's a quota that the CWF will allow me. I feel I've wasted one here, and I feel a bit sad.
Well, were you not as high on this match as you thought you were?
No. But I just know there's better Barry Windham out there. I mean, okay. First of all,
it is there. I think this may be the best of Barry Windham.
First of all, we're talking Uncensored 99 from WCW. We have Barry Windham and Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig facing Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit from the Four Horsemen in a lumberjack match where the lumberjacks have leather belts to hit people with.
Lumberjacks with straps.
There we go. And it is for the WCW World Tag Team Championships. My issue here isn't necessarily with Barry's work. My issue here, bless him, is how Barry looks. He obviously 99, he's coming towards the end of his in-ring career. He still carries on for a while, don't get me wrong, but I've got a bit of an issue with the haircut. It's not a good look, is it? Let's be honest. It's
Especially
a weird kind of
with the tash as well.
Well, it's a weird kind of bob effort with a strange little fringe, isn't it? And then you add to that weird little beardy thing he's got going on. It's a strange look for Mr. Windham here. Mr. Perfect has obviously gone to the Hulk Hogan tanning school because he's looking very orange, but still put together, constantly struggled with injuries, and he's actually at this point not long for this world. He passes away 3.5 years after this event, Maxie, I think
2002.
roughly.
Is it 2002?
Okay. Yeah, something. Yeah, was it 2002 or 2003? Around that time, anyway, wasn't it? Whatever it was. He looks great in his singlet and ready to go and all that. And then Windham is stood next to him in a pair of jeans and a wife beater t-shirt, but doesn't quite put it off like John Moxley did as Dean Ambrose at one point. He with that haircut as well, and he looks like he's not seen the inside of a gym for many years. Mr. Windham kind of looks like just some
shower.
Yeah, or a shower. He kind of looks just like some guy who's randomly joined your barbecue in the back garden, and nobody knows where he's come from, but he's there drinking oil beer. That's what Windham looks like in this scenario, isn't it?
So he's never ever looked better than this.
Goodness sake!
Unless he had like camouflage face paint, then
of course, yeah, the stalker. I want a stalker t-shirt now. I've got to that point where you keep bringing it up so much. I'm gonna try and find a stalker t-shirt. But there we go. The lumberjacks they announce them on their way to the ring. The ring announcer announces
which feels weird.
It's very strange.
Very strange because they were all topless as well, which was also weird.
Yeah, because the wrestlers aren't. Well, no. Windham and Perfect aren't.
it just when you see Norman Smiley pop through, and then I think the one who got the most camera time was Meng, who went on a mad rant towards the camera. But they're all topless.
Yeah.
What is going on behind those WCW curtains?
Carrying their leather straps.
Exactly.
All oiled up, ready to go. I did try and make a note of who the lumberjacks were, thinking this may end up being important. Okay. First thing that went wrong with that is I played it back on 3 occasions, still didn't get them all and gave up. And secondly, it turns out to be not important in the fucking slightest.
Yeah, but there's literally two of the lumberjacks that play a major role, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Well, technically 3. You've got Kendall Windham, obviously. Kurt does the little wink and a nod like, you're on our team for this. Then there's Chris Adams, who, just as the match gets going, gets substituted and gets told to basically hit the bricks because good old Double A Arn Anderson is being one of the lumberjacks.
Yeah, why? I don't understand why that was necessary. Because Arn comes out, because obviously the horsemen are in the ring. Arn's got a big issue with Hennig and Windham and so on. Arn comes out looking as Arn does. He looks badass here. And he's got his own belt ready to go and so on. Why doesn't he just walk out and join in? Why does he have to come out and tell Chris Adams, sling you up, mate, I'm having your spot? Kind of felt unnecessary, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they wanted the spotlight to be on Arn and him upsetting the 2 West Texas redneck blokes. Oh, they mentioned on commentary that Arn had retired at this time, so perhaps they had to be active wrestlers and Arn was breaking the rules. Who knows?
Oh, okay, that would make sense. You explained that well. That would
who the fuck cares?
Yes, we have. Okay, I'm going to try. Norman Smiley, Chris Adams, Prince. I've got IKEA here, but he's not Prince IKEA, is it? That's a supermarket.
IKEA.
Yeah, IKEA is where you buy wardrobes, isn't it?
Yeah.
The laughing man Hugh Morris, he gets called.
Did you see his hairdo?
No, I did not. I must have missed that.
So
I was frantically scribbling down Kenny Chaos's name at that point, I think.
So he had a kind of almost like a crew cut, as if it's grown out a little bit, but he'd shaved part of the way of the back of his head. So he had the top half,
right,
and the bottom section, but then a shaved bit in the middle. It was ridiculous. Great audio, that description.
He always did look weird, though, didn't he? You mentioned Meng, Kenny Chaos, Kendall Windham, but that's all I got. But I don't think anyone else was really important, were they?
No, like you said, they made it out as if these weren't just picked at random and that they were going to play a big part in the match, but then they didn't.
Yeah, exactly. The team of Benoit and Malenko come out to the Horseman music, which is fucking glorious, as always. They look badass until you notice their t-shirts. Their t-shirts is a great Four Horseman design. It's got the silhouette of the horses running across like a sunset kind of thing, and it says tradition of excellence. And I love that shirt. But why do Benoit and Malenko look like they've been given kids' sizes?
Because they're teeny tiny human beings.
But the t-shirts are even smaller. It's like literally halfway down their bellies. It's like a little crop top.
It's the old wrestling adage where you wear something a little bit small so it shows off your definition. But when you see, I mean, we'll get to the wrestling in a minute, but when you see little Chris Benoit going up against 6'5" Barry Windham, and then you see even littler Dean Malenko, it's like Barry Windham actually wrestling kids.
It is. It's funny. It's funny. Arn comes out, as we said, and joins the Horsemen. The match begins with Windham and Hennig very early deciding, fuck this, we're off. And they jump down.
They get a whooping.
They jump down to the floor and they get the shit beaten out of them, don't they? It's funny. It cracks me up. We get Hennig and Benoit beginning properly, and Kurt Hennig here is fantastic because they exchange a few slaps, and then he sells a slap like he's been hit with a hammer, but it doesn't look too daft. It makes Benoit look really strong, I think.
It was classic, perfect, Mr. Perfect selling. I mean, we mentioned it a few episodes ago how amazing Mr. Perfect is at the art of selling, and he just shows it here. The way he takes a clothesline and does the kind of spin around the 360, and when he gets that last slap from Chris Benoit, he's like stumbling backwards as if he's genuinely been knocked out. It's brilliant selling. Brilliant selling.
Really good. Really good. He does try and get out the ring again to get away from Benoit and gets whipped.
Gets a whipping.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's great. Barry Windham tags in, takes a few slaps from Benoit, does the same thing, and takes a whipping as well.
The whipping was the best part because everyone who was a lumberjack put proper effort in. There were no holding back with these whippings. They whip the shit out of people, and it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's class. Eventually, the heels take control when Barry Windham hits a DDT on Benoit. That looked very, very good. Again, it's simple moves, but it was smooth when Windham was doing it. We end up on the outside a couple more times, and again, a bit more of a whipping. Back and forth. It's always they make good use of these lumberjacks. Before Barry Windham hits a running jumping lariat on Benoit, and again, a bloke that size, those moves look, I think, more impactful, Mags, because he is so big, you know.
Yeah, and later on in the match, he does a standing drop kick to Benoit, and he should not be able to get that high off the ground with the size and the weight of him. I mean, it's just phenomenal just how good he was at wrestling. I mean, I give him shit to wind you up, but he looks like what a typical wrestler should have looked like. The guy he's an amazing look. I think he's so underrated.
Yeah, without a doubt. Kurt Hennig crashes into the corner here. He runs at Benoit. Benoit moves. This goes into a German suplex, which allows Benoit to tag Dean Malenko. We then get a battle back and forth, the hot tag, isn't it? Malenko's come in and he's battling with the heels, and he hits Kurt Hennig with the perfect plex, which I loved. I thought that was a really good little moment there. Brilliant seeing him take his own move, so to speak. Before Malenko ends up putting the cloverleaf on Kurt Hennig, and again, I love that move as well. It's a great submission.
And Kurt is actually tapping to it as well.
Yes.
But obviously, there's a referee distracted. Is it Randy Jackson, the referee?
Jackson or Anderson? I don't know.
Randy Anderson, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Easily distracted that guy. Easily distracted.
He was. He's got some kind of attention deficit disorder, hasn't he? He can't quite focus on the job in hand. The heels do take back control, and we see Barry Windham hit a lovely vertical suplex. Again, a move you see in so many wrestling matches, but when Windham does it, he hits this vertical suplex on Dean Malenko. It looks so impactful, and then he floats over as the canvas bumps them back up into it. So I mean, he used to do that from the top rope as well in his younger days with the superplex. So smooth, Max.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I give him shit just to piss you off more than anything. But he's so smooth in the ring, and ironically, he was probably the weakest of these four wrestlers.
Yeah, at this point in his career, I'd say, yeah.
But in this match in general, I think Dean Malenko was absolutely superb. I could watch that guy wrestle all day long. Benoit was as aggressive as ever, and as much as we detest him as a human, his wrestling was absolutely on point. Mr. Perfect, I mean, you can't say enough superlatives about how good he was, which means by default, Windham was the weakest wrestler in this. But even saying that, he was really, really good in this match. I really enjoyed it. He was the big guy who did the power moves, and it was a brilliant kind of mixture of so many different kinds of wrestling that it's a gorgeous kind of amalgamation of wrestling. I really enjoyed this match.
Bloody hell. Oh, okay. Again, the heels take back control, and we get this sleeper by Kurt Hennig on Dean Malenko that they drop to the floor very quickly, and Arn Anderson is shouting at Dean Malenko, saying the rope is only 2 foot away, and Kurt Hennig's going, "Shut up, Anderson!
Shut up, Anderson!" Yeah, I mean, they did a similar thing earlier on in the match. I think it was Benoit was going for the hot tag, and Malenko was saying, "You've only got to go 4 feet. I'm 4 feet away. Tag 4 feet." The fact that they picked up that audio and it became kind of part of the match, I thought was brilliant. Really well done.
Yeah. Great stuff, man. Something else I really enjoyed as well was when Barry Windham was in the corner and he stood on the middle rope and he's doing the punches to the head. So the crowd naturally counts along, and they won the old Hogan spot. I know loads of people have used it, but I always think of Hogan with that spot. And he gets to 5 and he stops because he realizes the crowd are joining in and he's supposed to be the heel.
Yeah, and he's the
so
heel.
He jumps down. Yeah, so he jumps down and punches the guy in the stomach instead. Then looks at the crowd and tells them to shut up. It's so simple, but it's so effective, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great heel work. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. Windham then tries to suplex Dean Malenko with a belly to back here, but Dean Malenko, whilst in midair, is just drilling the top of Windham's head with right hands over and over and over again. So when they hit the canvas, they're both out of it for a short period, allowing for a couple of tags. That was nice as well, wasn't it, Magsy?
Yeah, and the way Bobby the Brain explained it about Malenko knew he was going to take the move. There's no way out, so laying as many punches as you can to at least do a little bit of damage. Yeah, really well explained by Bobby the Brain there.
Heenan as well at this point. This is kind of the time in his career where there's accusations of him not giving a shit. he's kind of fed up. He doesn't want to be there anymore. There's stories about him being drunk on air and so on. Obviously, I didn't watch the whole pay-per-view, but I did watch the beginning. And there's other moments as well that I sort of scanned through whilst I was getting up to this match. He seemed all right here. He seemed like he was up for it here, Bobby Heenan, for me.
Yeah, there was a little bit just before the match where he turns his back to the camera and Tony Schiavone's trying to get him to turn to face the camera, and he's not having any of it. He's like basically shooing Tony off. But when it came to the match, he was on point with the commentary. There's one point where he talks about being screwed over by Perfect, and then says, "But I didn't pay him anyway. That's the last time I'm going to have him do anything to help me," something like that. So he still had that wit, that instant wit about him. So a Bobby Heenan on his worst day is still an elite level commentator.
Yes. Oh, I've got a cup of tea. Thank you very much, sir.
In that shitty mug.
Oh yeah, there it is. Let's see my brown mug. The inside is not supposed to be
white. It did used to be white, folks.
We're coming to the finish now, aren't we? With the additional belt coming into play. It's Barry Windham's belt, isn't it? Because he's the one wearing the jeans. And is it Dean Malenko or Benoit takes the belt off his jeans?
I think it's Malenko, because there's a little bit of a botch with how it came about. So Benoit's in the corner. Barry Windham's on the middle rope trying to basically beat him up, and then Malenko gets the belt and tries to almost hangman Barry Windham with it to the outside, but the belt slips, so Windham falls onto the ropes, and then Malenko essentially wrestles him over, and then he takes a whooping. Why? Because why not?
Because we haven't had enough yet of that. So
they could have done that every 30 seconds for me. It was just
it's brilliant.
The stank that the guys put in on just beating the shit out of people. I bet
Meg was
loved
having
it. I
was going to say, I bet Meg was having a great time, wasn't he? He was
Norman Smiley and Meng just absolutely loved whipping the shit out of people.
In the ring, however, with the referee dealing with Barry falling and everyone, because the Lumberjacks are now fighting amongst themselves, it's a bit chaotic in the one corner on the floor, so to distract our, as we mentioned earlier on, easily distractible referee. In the ring, Arn Anderson jumps up on the apron, and he gets first of all, Hennig wraps the belt around his fist, doesn't he?
I think Kendall Windham slipped him the belt.
Right, there we go. And he lays out.
He basically waffles Arn Anderson with the belt, but Arn does not sell. He does not sell for nobody, and he just reaches into his denim jacket pocket, whips out a tire iron, because that's where you keep them, and then just rattles Kurt Hennig so hard that he fell into the blow. Now, normally, if you are hit with an item from behind, you fall forward. Not Kurt Hennig. He was so dazed, he stumbled backwards, which was absolutely amazing.
And I think he lands, because Arn hits him and then drops to the floor. I think Hennig falls the wrong way, and actually his head lands on Arn's head on the mat.
So they bang the noggins.
I think so, yeah. They cut away just at the time when he's landed, but it looks like there's no way you could avoid him, you know?
And of all the heads in wrestling, you would not want to land on Arn's, because that's going to be like landing on a bowling ball.
Yeah, totally. Benoit climbs to the top rope, kind of hits the flying headbutt from the top rope, because there's quite a distance to cover on the mat, and pins Kurt Hennig for the 3 count and to win the WWE World Tag Team titles.
He does.
Magsy, what are your thoughts and your ratings out of 10 then, mate? Because it sounds like you might have enjoyed this.
Yeah, I went into this thinking it's going to be a shitty Barry Windham lover fun again. But the wrestling was basic wrestling. There was no kind of like outstanding technical spots, although I do love Dean Malenko's calf kick. The heart he can get on that is unreal.
Yeah.
But this was solid wrestling by 4 wrestlers who know how to work a match. Throw in the lumberjacks, and it was so much fun. It was hilarious fun. Every time a wrestler tried to bolt out the ring, the whoopings they got, it was just hilarious. I loved it. I was genuinely laughing at points in this match. So yeah, I thought this was brilliant. Not the best match we've ever watched technically, but great fun.
Yes.
So I'm giving this an 8.5.
Why, really?
Yes,
That's higher than I've got.
bloody hell. I retract that then. I'm giving it a 5.
That's quite the drop. 8.5 to 5. I've got a note here that says the same thing. Good fun. Great fun. Yeah. This was really entertaining. I will hazard a guess that this has to be the best match on the show, if not at least in the top 2.
I had a look at cage match for the match ratings, and this was by far the highest rated match on this card. Yeah, it's just awesome. An awesome match.
I've got 7.5. I really enjoyed it. It was great fun. The when I picked it, the lumberjack thing was the kind of thing that I was more concerned about, because I don't remember specifically ever watching a great lumberjack match. It's very much a novelty gimmick, isn't it? Once somebody's fallen out the ring, they've been punched and kicked and then thrown back in a couple of times, you've kind of exhausted that novelty already, but it keeps happening, so it gets a bit repetitive. Here, that didn't happen. Here, like you said, they could have been thrown out of the ring again and again and again and got whipped to shit, because it was great.
It was the lumberjack with straps stipulation that made this match. If it was just a normal lumberjack match, I'd be totally in agreement with you. It would have got boring fast. Mm-hmm. But that, just giving them belts to whip the piss out of them all, it just elevated this match no end. I absolutely loved it.
Brilliant stuff. I'm glad you enjoyed it, because I did too. So yeah, 7.5 from my good self and 8.5 from your better self, Maxie. So lovely stuff, mate. Yeah. High ratings.
For Barry Windham.
Yeah. Do you feel dirty?
I need a shower. Yeah.
Right. I am now collecting my spy pen. Ooh. So I can make notes. As Mr. Mags, you tell us, where would you like to go next week?
So this was actually one of the hardest links that I've done in a long time, because it's WrestleMania week, and I know that I'm going to be consuming so much wrestling. I felt that we're going to be so drawn out that we might not even want to watch a wrestling match on Monday, because we've watched so much during the week. So it was hard to find a link. It was hard. It was hard to find the link. But then a little bit of joy landed straight into my lap. And by lap, I mean my YouTube subs. So I'm subscribed to an account called WrestleMe. A couple of guys who kind of do a similar thing to us. They review matches and storylines of wrestling. And they looked at something that I've watched a long time ago, but I haven't watched in ages, and it links perfectly with the match we've just watched. So it's about WCW.
Okay.
It was in the year 1999.
Oh my word. Okay.
I don't want to watch another match, especially after all the matches we're watching over WrestleMania week. So I'm putting forward a documentary about wrestling.
Okay.
I'm putting forward Louis Theroux's Weird Weekends, where he visits the WCW and a couple of indie companies. It's on the BBC iPlayer. It's about 50 minutes long, and it's a critique of how wrestling is weird from the eyes of somebody who has basically had no interest whatsoever in wrestling. So I'm putting forward Louis Theroux's Weird Weekends, where he visits WCW Power Plant. I
saw that a few months back, funnily enough.
Oh, well, so you'll be able to remember it.
And it's fucking brilliant.
I've vaguely remember, and the guys that wrestle me kind of refresh my memory, just how degrading Louis treats wrestling and the wrestlers, and how he thinks it's weird when he literally opens the show by saying it's the most popular sport in America, and then he's saying it's weird and he could perhaps be a wrestler when he's a skinny guy from England. So I think we should have a look at that show.
When he goes to the indie shows as well. That's fascinating because I think he drives from one town to another, or drives somewhere with some of the wrestlers, and that's really fascinating. Oh,
the best part is when he makes Sarge, when he pisses him off, so he fucking grafts him in the power plant to the point where he was vomiting. You want to see how hard wrestlers work? I'm going to work you like a bitch.
Yep. Oh man, and there's famous faces in the power plant in the back. Was it Chris Palumbo? Was there? There's people
Chuck
you recognise. Chuck Palumbo, sorry, yes.
There's Randy Savage is in it. There's a chat with Raven. That one as well pissed me off, but we'll get to it if it's picked. There's Papa is in there. He pisses off Goldberg. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to watch that.
I want to watch that. I fuck it. That's what I want to watch. I'm gonna vote for you.
Right then.
Simple
So
as that.
don't put anything up. Or
No,
put up the same thing.
I've got to because that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? But mine's not going to win anyway. Mine's not going to win because I'm going to be voting for you. Mine is the link is I really enjoyed this tag team match that we watched. I love tag team wrestling. I know you love tag team wrestling, Magsy.
I do love tag team
wrestling.
I thought
I'd like to look at some more tag team wrestling. And I went down a really weird rabbit hole of looking at random matches from when the tag team division in WWE was absolute shite in like 2007, 8, that kind of era. I didn't pick anything from there, so don't panic. But it took me ages to basically settle upon this match because I know how good it is. But we can easily link back to this and watch it another time if people want to vote for your choice, which I think is great. I'm using tag team wrestling as the link, Arn Anderson as the link, and the fact that this isn't a link, but it was sort of one of the reasons I picked it. Ole Anderson obviously passed away a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. He is in this match as well. I would like to go to Starrcade 1986 and see Arn Anderson and Ole Anderson take on the Rock and Roll Express for the World Tag Team titles in a steel cage. And being the NWA in 86, the Andersons are involved, and the Rock and Roll but there's lots of blood and it's very physical and so on. It's a very, very, very good wrestling match. But we're going to see lots of good wrestling this weekend. I'll vote for Magsy because I want to go see Louis for his weird weekends. Great shite.
Yeah, definitely don't vote for ye olde wrestling. Vote for Mags. A vote for Mags is a vote for the better world.
Is that going to be your cliche when you run for local council?
Yeah. Funny you mentioned that. About 25 of our local councillors all resigned en masse. So,
really?
Yeah.
Is that because they're scared? Because you mentioned you might be interested.
Yeah, because I mentioned on a podcast I'm interested in the whole shit they sell like.
They're like,
he's coming in to clean up. He's going to clean up the corruption in Burnley Council.
Why did they do that? Why did they have so many?
It was because one of them said something anti-Semitic. And he was suspended from the Labour Party. So a bunch of his team all resigned. So it was racist. So fuck them. No racism when I'm on that council. I won't stand for it.
I won't be allowed to vote for you because I don't live in Burnley, do I?
You won't, no. I mean,
that's a shame.
You could vote for me if you wanted. You could just pitch up, vote, and go. But then no election corruption under my name as well.
Well, if I've got to live in that area, I could just set a tent up somewhere for a night. That would count, wouldn't it?
I mean, you could sleep in my chicken shed.
Sound. I'm sold. Look at that. Look at you sweet talking the voters. Come sleep in my shed.
Just 500 people in Burnley all kipping in a shed.
Yeah, the chicken's like, what the fuck is this? But anyway, those are your options for next week's show. The poll will be up later in the week after the podcast version is released, which probably will be Wednesday time. But if you're listening to the podcast version, you already know that because you're listening to it. So it's pointless me saying it right now. Your options are the Louis Theroux Weird Weekends Wrestling documentary available on the BBC iPlayer, or the World Tag Team title match from Starrcade 86 between the Andersons and the Rock and Roll Express, but vote for Mags, because that's what we want to look at. Magsy, shall we have a quick scan through the chat, or shall we jump straight into Hogan being a Billy bullshitter?
We'll just go through a couple of these comments. So we've got King's Pig Badu said he voted for Kurt and not Barry. There we go. So there was an out. There was definitely 3 outs in voting for Barry. And then he said he'll watch the match later. He also said that the Louis Theroux documentary is awesome. Yeah, the guys at WrestleMania did a really good job like refreshing my memory about it, but I can't wait to genuinely watch it again. Sharon says, you watched it months ago. Haha, it was a while ago, wasn't it? Yeah, it probably meant about 4 or 5 years. Time works different in Sar's world.
It does. It really does. You're so accurate.
And then Sharon says, Sar and his multiple accounts are voting for Mags. So, yeah, I think it's tacked on that I'm going to win. I'm going to finish the story.
He's going to finish the
Louis
story.
Theroux being a bellend.
Do you know what's quite interesting as well, just before we dive into Hogan being a Billy bullshitter? This is the notebook I'm currently using for my notes whenever I review matches for chain wrestling. It was bought for me for my birthday by my middle daughter, Livy. It was lovely. She got it with her own pocket money and stuff. It's a nice Scooby-Doo one there. And I'm slowly working through the pages of all the notes I make and so on. Just turn the page here to find a random scribble in Liv's handwriting that says, "Size smells like poo." Hidden about 10 pages into the notebook. So thanks for that, Liv. That's great.
She's not lying.
No, this is true.
Oh, that's sweet, though. Are you a big Scooby-Doo fan?
Yeah, I don't mind Scooby-Doo. It's something I watched when I was younger, yeah. I don't like all the remakes and stuff. Saying that, Sarah Michelle Gellar's in the film, isn't she? So I don't mind that.
Yeah, the films are grim, though, aren't they?
Yeah, but only when I look at her.
Anyway, let's get on to Hogan.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Liar, liar, pants on fire, hanging from a telephone wire. Squirming, pants are burning. When I lie, my hips start turning.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Look, man, I made a mistake.
So this week, Hulk Hogan has said he was a lifelong fan of wrestling, and he grew up watching his hero, Dusty Rhodes, on TV. It was at Hogan's first live event when he was 9 that the young Hulkster saw Dusty Rhodes beat Dory Funk Sr., and he's been hooked ever since. The problem is, Dusty didn't debut until 1967, and at that time, Hulk Hogan was 14 years old. He's a cunt. Hogan is just a Billy bullshitting prick.
Those are the best ones when it's literally a case of here's what Hogan said, but we have dates, we have facts.
Yeah, this is the proof that he's actually bullshitting. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic, Maxie. I love that so much. What a knobhead. But there we go, mate. That's it for this week, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, snug hour 43 minutes.
Yeah, flew through that, didn't we? Didn't we do well?
So you can get on to start your WrestleMania week plethora of matches.
There you go. There you go. Magsy, where can people find you?
You can find me on TikTok at PodfatherMags. I also have a Twitter. It's at PodfatherMags. Have I got them wrong? I've got them wrong. Anyway, I have social media. I don't check it. So, meh.
So meh. Follow me at SJP World Media. It's the tag for the network. It's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then of course you can use that as well, SJP World Media, to find all the shows that are on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and all that great stuff. But most importantly, you can find and follow this show itself on Facebook and Twitter at chain_wrestling. That's where the poll, non-wrestling topic, and all that good stuff will be going up. So make sure you are following us. And also, it would be hugely appreciated if you could chuck us a like, a subscribe, all that good stuff. Ring the little bell on YouTube and so on. So when we have more live shows coming up randomly, people will know they're coming and so on. And of course, the audio version for this show via the Spotify, iTunes, and so on. It's good to be subscribed to the SJP World Media feed on that, because this doesn't have a set day it drops anymore. It literally drops when I've had the chance to edit it. So in recent weeks, it's been Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon. Fantastic, quick turnaround. The weeks before that, it weren't coming out till Thursday, Friday. So it's always handy to have that subscribed just to make sure, because sometimes I forget to tweet about it. So, so that's on me, but you can sort it out yourselves. There we go.
Do the work yourself, you lazy listeners.
Yeah, lazy listeners. We work hard for this show. We should have to do that other side of things as well. Magsy, I am off now to try and somehow, through a collection and a big spider's web of electrical cables, wire a DVD player into the television to watch the DVD I bought. I will speak to you next week, my friend.
I enjoyed this Barry Windham match.